Want to show you around, see where we're at right now. So, thank you. Owen was holding the camera for me.
You're welcome.
My partner Yoni over there is working the skid steer. I'll bring you up here first. So this is our area. We've got about 2 acres of space that we're leasing. And then the house, which is right around the corner from the shop, is where my partner is going to be living, so he'll be on site. This is one of our stacks of wood. We recently purchased this for $8,000. It is full of really nice figured wood, and there's probably $200,000 worth of wood in those logs once they're cut and dried. This over here is just some of what we've cut in the last 3 months doing this part-time. In the next 2 to 3 months, Yoni will be here full-time. But so we've got this stacked up here over by the shop. I'll show you those stacks in a minute. We've got those stacks right there. And then the rest of this over here is probably another around $200,000 worth of uncut wood that we have stacked up. Over here is the mill. We spent time, well, Yoni spent time yesterday cutting these slabs here that we haven't finished stacking. This right here is a piece of poplar, really pretty. And then we've got pieces of black walnut. These are pretty large pieces. Each one of these is about $650 a piece once it's dried, unfinished. Those are the sticks that we use in between all of our stacks. This is the mill. It's 8 foot wide, it can go up to 5 feet tall, and it cuts, as you can see here, currently 26 feet long. We've got a covering for it now. James has been helping too. He's been tending the fire. That is a used air handler. It's our vacuum for in the shop that I bought on an auction. So here are some of the stacks of wood here. All of these need to be sent over to the kiln. We're letting them air dry right now until they're ready to go to the kiln. Have cedar, burley maple cookies. You have poplar, black walnut, ash. More over here, cedar and other type things. This is box elder. Box elder is pretty cool. It's got some really vibrant reds in it. And that's the whole yard. And then this is the inside of the shop. I started to move some of the things over from my old shop. That's the other part of the landscaping that's in the Evans family Evans. Can't wait for him to get out of the way. So we've got some dried wood that's in here. Those are extra bandsaw blades. This was my holder for when we went to trade shows, which obviously hasn't happened all year. These are pre-bought metal legs. Still have enough for probably about 50 tables that I bought from China quick, what, 2 years ago maybe now? Year and a half. This is the epoxy that we have on hand still. High enough for 15 tables. It's about $3.5 grand in epoxy. Some more dried wood, and these are some of the tools that I don't use very often that I brought over here to make room in my other shop, which we're going to keep using until we get this place insulated and the electrical put in. So that's it for now. That's where we're at. In pretty good shape. Pretty excited about what's next. And I'll talk to you soon. Hope you're having a good weekend, and Happy New Year. Hey, we're going to do a quick tour of the shop and the yard. So we're starting here in the shop. Behind me are all the pieces of sandpaper there, and also in here. That's for our hand sanding. And here are all the mica powders that we have. That's for dyeing the epoxy. These are all the dyes that we have for the epoxy. We come up these stairs, you can see our massive air compressor that powers a bunch of stuff in the shop, including the Biesse Opera 5, the 53-inch planer sander that we have. There's Will working on a table and Travis working on a door and a table. He doesn't like being filmed. Oh, don't let me skip it. This is all the wood that we have currently kiln dried. And this is the CNC machine that we have in the shop. 12 foot by 6 foot. The various other pieces of equipment that we've got. That's all of our epoxy up there. This is our pour table. And this is where we do the bulk of our epoxy pours. This plastic keeps it from leaking out onto the floor. And now we're gonna go out into the yard. Here's McCabe eating his fancy lunch. All right, over there is our skid steer. There's our wheel loader. We finished our office and our finish room last year. I'll walk you in that really quick so you can see it. So this is our office. It's got display with the different types of countertops that we offer. Here are the computers, a little bit of a mess, some shelves, shelf. And this is our finished room. And in it has all of the finished pieces that we either have waiting for clients or that we bring to shows. Examples of islands we've made, tables, bar tops. It's all in this temperature controlled room. We put a covered roof over this section here, and this is our surfacer and our large true cut mill that does 8 foot by 45. We've had that for the last 2.5 years. Here's our baker. We bought this beginning of last year. Those are dimensional product. Those are all the logs from Edrich that we cut for them. So they supply the logs and we do dimensional cuts for them. This is our kiln building, which we finished at the end of the year, beginning of this year. It's insulated on the inside and it holds all our kilns. We've got 4 iDry kilns in here. You can see the foam, keep it warm. And there's 3 of the kilns and then the final one's on the end. Now I'm gonna walk you up into the yard where we have everything drying. So here's where we keep the logs that we're going to cut, as well as where we put all of the slabs that we've already cut and are laying air dry. Generally speaking, we have to air dry for about a year to get them ready to go into the kilns, and then at that point we can put them into the kilns. But you can see we have plenty of log product stacked up ready for cutting. And then if you come over here, you can see we have almost as much already cut and ready to go into the kilns, and that will be over the rest of this year that these start to be put into the kilns. But we've got about 2.5 acres back here that we're currently storing stuff in. So we have our various pieces of black walnut and ash, poplar. These pieces are all fairly large. And as you can see, it just keeps going. So when they're stacked up like this, they're not actually drying. We need to get stickers in between them, which is what all those are. They're already stickered, so the air goes in between them all. But as you can see, keeps going. That log right there is about as tall as I am. Just to give you a little bit of perspective. So it's, I mean, it really is basically as tall as me. So it's about 5'8" in diameter. So we've got beams over there, some really large cookies. And then over here is where we have all of our cookies stacked. Again, still need to sticker that and that so they actually start to dry properly. These are all the the cookies that we've cut, and it's, I don't know, it's got to be probably 200. Each one of them will go for between 150 to 200 bucks, all the way up to 500 bucks a piece once they're dried. And then there you go, there's the rest of the black walnut that we're air drying. And you can see we come back around in the middle. And that's basically what we have going on here. So yeah, it's a bit bigger than a year and a half ago. A lot of unrealized profit. Pretty excited about the rest of the year. All right, talk to you later.